Hey guys, T.A. Myers coming here today talking to you guys about the Emery Theater, which we did a ghost investigation there last night. So I'm going to show some video of that here in just a second. But before I do, make sure you hit like and subscribe down below. Also hit that notification button that will tell you when I have new videos out. So do that for me real fast. Let me go into that first video. We're outside the Emery Theater, ready to go into the Emery Center, across the street where the canal used to be. Watch this video real fast, and I'll be right back. So this is the building we're about ready to go into. This is the Emery Center. It houses the Emery Apartments, but also houses the Emery Theater, which was built in 1911. We're going to go in. We're going to do some exploring. But if you check out this building, it's right on Walnut and Central Parkway. Central Parkway is where the Miami-Erie Canal once ran. They dug that up and built a subway system underneath the city of Cincinnati that never got used. So this is going to be kind of a cool night, planning our ghost investigations with Cincy Ghost Guys, American Legacy Tours. I'm T.A. Myers. We'll be going inside here in just a moment. Kind of a cool looking building, right? I love the outside of that building. 6 stories tall. They used to use those top pillars of that building, those pillars on every corner. Those used to be indications for fire fighters in over the Rhine of which quadrant to go to. So they would light up those towers on top of that building to indicate, you know, what quadrant the fire truck should go to. So that's kind of cool, neat bit of history. But that building itself was built in 1911. It was the Emery Center. It would house the Ohio Mechanics Institute, OMI. They were the original tenant there. There was a school there. Lots of other cool stuff. But the theater itself was built for the school. Eventually, the Ohio Mechanics Institute was bought by the University of Cincinnati and moved to their main campus in the 1960s. So the school, pretty much done in 1969, went vacant pretty much in the school part of the building for a long time. Now there are apartments. They came around in the early parts of 2000s. The theater was operational all the way up to 1999, 2000 area. It was home to the American Organ Society chapter in Cincinnati, and they had a Wurlitzer organ there, and they played concerts, and they showed old black and white pictures and would play the organ to it. It was really kind of cool. Now we're going to go inside the theater part, give you a quick tour. Be right back, guys. Enjoy the video. So welcome to the Emery Theater. So this is inside the Emery Center. This is the theater itself, 6 stories high, just under 1,200 seats. We're going to do a quick walk around to show my 2 companions tonight over here. So my wife and my son, who are playing with their flashlights. So this is kind of the pre-investigation walkthrough. Show them some of the spots here in the theater. So this is the main stage. This is the only stage. But this is all original. 1911 this was built. This is the piano that's been here. So we're going to start to walk backstage a little bit and show them the backstage area, some of the dressing rooms. I've turned on the lights back here, but usually when we do ghost investigations, we will turn all the lights off. But this is the main dressing area, the hallway to all the dressing rooms. So this would have been the restroom for all the performers here. And this entrance here would have been where all the main performers got ready in the theater. You see you'll appreciate some of this, even though it doesn't look like much, but some of the original sconces and lights that are back here in this room. And that's, we don't use that restroom, but that would have been the restroom for the main act, and that's separate from the other entrance I just showed you guys. And this here would have been the main dressing room for any of the big acts that came through. This is the room we get most of our activity in as well. This is where we make most contact with our spirit, Jessica, who we've seen in the past year of doing investigations in this building. There's some old flowers that we put out for Jessica. This was the main dressing room. This was where Dr. Martin Luther King would have got ready before he went on his went on stage to give his speeches. Eleanor Roosevelt would have been in this room. Any big acts that came through, this is where all the maestros for the symphony orchestra, this is where they would have got ready. So this is a very significant room in this building, a really cool room. Another dressing room. If you can imagine, maybe the orchestra would have got ready in this room. This is the loading dock area. This is where I think this is the original loading dock area. This is where they would have brought in any kind of staging for the theater. There's one more room back here. So that's the backstage area. Next we're going to go underneath the stage.
Taffy right there.
Some ancient taffy. Now these are the, like I said, the
ancient Corona light.
These are the seat warmers. So underneath the seats are all these vents, and those were seat warmers. They wanted to make sure the acoustics were perfect in this theater, so they didn't want any sounds of large vents. So they made an intricate system of seat warmers and just let the heat rise in the theater, and that would warm the theater. So we're going up this way. This room here was added on later, probably in the 1970s when they started to show movies here. So they showed movies here, and also there was a Wurlitzer organ that was housed here, and they would show black and white pictures as the Wurlitzer played. And this is the main lobby area here. So this is the main entrance to the theater. You see how intricate the marble is in this room. It's really cool. These would have been the two ticket counters here. First ticket booth. Second ticket booth over here. Next, we're going to walk up to the mezzanine level. You want to follow me this way? This is the mezzanine level. This is where this kind of the second ghost that we make contact with. This is where he hangs out. His name is Joe. We think he might have been an usher, security guard here. This is the ladies' powder room. So this is where, back in the 1900s, early 1900s, this is where the ladies would take their breaks. They'd have those big dresses on, and there would probably be chairs for them to sit in here. The powder room here. Which, surprisingly enough, they've actually done some work in here because all this drywall is new. So there is plans on renovating this theater. It's a 3.5-year plan to become the Children's Theater of Cincinnati. So that is the plans. I know that they're looking for funds to renovate this space. I think the budget was in upwards of $30 million, I think, for the whole project. And that's the men's room. All right, if you guys want to follow me this way. So this is the view from the mezzanine level. If you guys want to follow me up this way. So this is another area, like a break area. They had it set up like a classroom. In this building, there are still classrooms that are intact. That were 1969 was the last time the school, the Ohio Mechanics School, the Ohio Mechanics Institute was here. They left in 1969. This is one of the original signs that would have hung outside the Emery Theater. Some more restrooms up here on this level. You guys want to follow me this way? Getting back down to the stage area. And this is the cut through. This would have been the only way that people would have been able to get to the balcony. So looking all the way down here is the actual ticket booth that we saw earlier. And so that is the balcony entrance down there. And this going upstairs is the balcony area. So we're going to just walk up there real fast. So again, they would have not been able to access, it would have been a separate entrance for the balcony. And that would have been for, that door there would have been for workers. Just kind of stay to your left because of the debris. And this is the balcony level. So we'll walk out here and take a look at the theater from the balcony. Look all the way up there. So when we give tours of this place and when we do investigations, we don't go into these areas. So this little landing's literally the only area that we go into just because of how much construction's here. Somebody's handprint. But if you notice that there's no obstructed views of the stage, so even if you're in the balcony, there's no obstructions that would stop you from seeing the performance. Also, the acoustics from here were excellent. So this was actually one of 4 acoustically perfect theaters in the country at the time. The other ones being in Chicago, Detroit, and Carnegie Hall in New York City. This was all designed by Adler, Sullivan and Adler. They designed the preliminary design for this, and then the engineers here were Hannaford and Son, Samuel Hannaford, who also built Music Hall, Memorial Hall, and a bunch of other buildings around the city. So we can go up one more level. You don't want to go up one more level? Do you want to go down? Okay. All right, we might explore up there later with the other group. But that is it for now. One last part I forgot to show them was the coat check room. Make sure I'm thorough on my tour here. So this would have been the coat check area for the theater. There's also, it's kind of cool because there's a few old projectors in here still, which is neat. Ancient tap light. Original to the 1911 design. These are really cool. And then this area over here would have been another powder room. This would have been another powder room for the theater. It stinks in here. Has a little smell in there. It says bubble font. Cool. All right. And we're back out in the theater. It's kind of cool just watching, like just walking around, seeing the old theater. Again, it's been untouched for about 20 years. There are some big plans, though. They do want to make it into the Cincinnati Children's Theater. So there's a 3.5-year plan. They just put that out not too long ago. But in conjunction with American Legacy Tours, we have really good access to that building, and I appreciate them letting us in there, and the owner of the building to let us in there to explore and do our ghost investigations. So every time before we do our real ghost investigation, we always like to celebrate just a little bit, and it being right before Christmas. So watch this video of us celebrating our final ghost investigation of the year. Cheers. Cheers. Roast the ghost. Kind of cool. So just to give you a little bit more background about the Emery Theater itself. It was built in 1911. First time they had a show there was in 1912. But a lady named Mary Emery, she was the one who put up the money for the school to build this theater. She didn't want to cut any cost. The school really wanted something a little bit more low-key, but she was going to put her name on it. She was going to dedicate it to her late husband, Thomas Emery. So she wanted to make sure the theater was top-notch. And she actually took the design from Addison and Sullivan, Adler and Sullivan from Chicago. They had built some other theaters, including Carnegie Hall, that same design. No pillars, no obstruction of views, no obstruction of acoustics. She took that design and she wanted to make sure that it was just a perfectly sound, perfectly acoustically sound theater. So she did that, and the symphony orchestra actually liked it so much. Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra moved there for a couple decades. So it was really kind of cool that that theater, it housed so many things: plays, the orchestra. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke from there. Eleanor Roosevelt gave a speech from there. A lot of awesome stuff. But she dedicated it to her late husband, Thomas Emery. And Thomas Emery was in the candle business back in the 1800s, 17 and 1800s. And his family was very wealthy. And when he died, he left her $30 million, which is a lot of money, about $600 million today. Buku bucks. She needed some place to spend the money. So she went into philanthropy. She actually bailed out the zoo when it was in trouble during the Depression. She also gave money, an endowment to the Cincinnati Art Museum to make sure that everybody got in for free forever, pretty much, because the endowment was so large. And she really felt like that was her main purpose, is to make sure that the arts were accessible to everybody in the city of Cincinnati. So she was a very, very important person, and this theater was kind of one of her crowning jewels, and that she dedicated it to her husband was very special to her. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you guys are interested in taking a tour of this building, go on AmericanLegacyTours.com. We're doing public investigations there, public ghost investigations. But if you guys want to do a private ghost investigation where it's just you and your team, feel free to contact me. I'll put my email down below, and you guys can contact me. Also, check me out on Instagram at Cincy Ghost Guys, and check back for more videos. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Comment if you want. Check out AmericanLegacyTours.com. Check out CincyGhostGuys.com. Email me if you're interested in a private investigation here at the Emery Theater. You guys have a great day, and Merry Christmas to everybody.